Hello there. There's a kind of a variation on a face lather. The lather is the same, but the utensils used are different. Or the technique for lathering is the same, but the utensils used are different. Nowadays we get soap. Hold on a minute. Well, let's just do this. We get soap in a container most of the time. Much of it is the soft soap, the Italian crope, that kind of thing. But if you had a grandfather or a great grandfather, or if you're old enough, a father that shaved, they probably used a DE or a single edge or a straight razor to do it in their day when they were young. And some of them never stopped, but they didn't get soap like this. Many of them, believe it or not, and I've done it successfully without an issue, use something like Irish Spring or Dove or any number of just regular old hand soaps. They weren't that worried about superb performance. They just wanted to shave. Well, I can tell you right now that Irish Spring's got wonderful slickness to it for what it is. Okay, and I have a video here somewhere shaving with Irish Spring. But most of the time, the soap that they used was a puck of soap, like Williams mug soap, Ever Faithful Williams, or later on Vanderhagen. And these pucks are different. Now you can get modern day pucks like Mitchell's Wool Fat or this Check and Speak. Okay? But if you look at these, if you look at that puck and you take the Williams puck, you can see that the Williams is a much smaller puck. There's a reason for that. The Vanderhagen is similar size to the Williams. Okay? There's a reason for that. If you look on the box of Williams, it says Williams Mug Shaving Soap, and it shows a picture of a shaving mug. Now, you might be new to wet shaving. You might not know what a shaving mug is. Well, back in my grandpa's day, it could be anything. It could be a coffee mug, or it could be a purpose-made mug. Now, one of the most familiar shaving mugs nowadays is the old vintage Old Spice mugs. Okay? Well, these mugs were made, and there was another mug called an occupational mug, and I don't have one, but I have one that a shaving mug that is similar. And they were a bit taller, and like if you were a doctor or a dentist or a railroad engineer or just about anything that had occupational shaving mugs. And the occupational shaving mugs came back from a time when men still used mug soap. And it grew from a time when there used to be the old-timey barbers. You would pick your barber, and you would go to your barber, and he would sell you a mug. And it would have your name on it, or whatnot, and he'd put it on a shelf with 100 other mugs up there from his different customers, and every time you came in for a shave, he would use your mug. Okay? And so this kind of developed from that, and then when men started doing more shaving at home and stuff like that, it was natural to use a mug. So there are a few differences. If you look at the occupational mug, because this is not, it's just a plain mug, but this is pretty much what an occupational shaving mug looked like. It's correct size and all of that. And you look at this mug, you'll see that this is a much shorter mug, okay? But if you look, the bottom of that hole there is about the same size as the bottom of this mug. And these old soaps like Williams mug soap and Vanderhagen and Colonel Conk, people go, well, why are those soaps so much smaller? Because this is a 2.5 ounce soap, and Williams mug soap is 1 3/4, and this Cambridge soap is 3 ounces, okay? So it's a bigger soap, and they say, well, Williams is cheating you, or Vanderhagen, they're cheap soaps, and they make them real small, and no, they're made to fit in a mug like this. They're made to be able to drop down in the bottom of that mug. They're made to be able to drop down in the bottom of these mugs. That's why they're a mug soap. If I take that check and speak, it won't go down in that mug. Not without some shaving, and there are guys that do that, by the way. It won't go down in the Old Spice mug because it's not a mug soap. It's just a puck of soap, and people are used to more for their money, they think. But that check and speak costs a whole lot more than this puck of Williams ever did, okay? Or the Vanderhagen or anything like that. So there are a couple of differences, too, that you want to look out for, because what people did was they would take the puck and they would put it down in the bottom of one of these cups. And then they would take a brush and lather, and load a brush just like you would load it off a puck of soap or one of those containers. You would load that brush, and then you would go to face lather like I taught you earlier, okay? And some people would build a lather on here. They would continue to add water until the lather got the consistency they wanted, and then they would just paint it on their face. To me, I wouldn't do that, because you're constantly adding water to the puck, and you're liable to use up the puck a lot faster. And I know I'm one of the guys that says don't worry about wasting soap. And in the case of these two soaps, they're not very expensive, although you can end up in some places paying as much as $5 for the Vanderhagen Deluxe. But usually you can get them $2-3. And the Williams this one was listed at, I forget how much this was, but it was under $2, like $1.50 or 89 cents. Yeah, it was 89 cents, okay? So, but there's a couple of differences in the way that, in what you need for like a mug like this as compared to a mug like that. And what it is if I take this brush, okay, it works really well with that puck of soap in there. But if I put it down in that occupational mug, you'll see it's kind of short. It'll be all right, but you would have to hold the end of the brush. Your hands would be in here, all kinds of stuff. So what you would want, and I have a vintage brush, but you could use any with the characteristics I'm talking about, is you want something a bit taller for something like an occupational mug, so you can get a hold of it like that, and everything's good. So what we're going to do is I want to move the camera down, and I want to talk about how to use one of these. Like I said, you're basically going to face lather. So let's move on down. And that is my vocal recorder in case anybody's wondering. I know somebody's going to ask, so I'm going to take the Old Spice mug because they're my favorite. And I generally keep like a little Anchor Hocking container with Williams in it. Okay, well that is almost gone, so I need a new one anyway. I'll just pull it out of this mug after because I use this mug to hold things with. And if you want to get this hot, wet the bottom of the cup and press it down in the bottom of the bowl, and that'll help. See, it doesn't. Now, if you use a lot of pressure with the brush, it's going to pop loose, yes. And it probably will here in a minute. Because what I'm going to do with the Williams is I'm going to add a boatload of water. And then I'm going to set my brush in there. And what I would tell you to do, we're going to skip it, so there might be some fading lather, but hopefully not, is to soak this brush in this mug of hot water for 10 minutes or so that the puck can hydrate really well. But like I said, we're going to skip that tonight, and we're going to do what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to lather. And the thing of it is with Williams, you need a whole lot of water, but you don't want, you have to, see all that foamy stuff? You want to get rid of that. So that's why I've got it turned to the side here. Alright, so we're going to this is Williams, so I'm not going to give it any mercy. I'm going to load it like it's going out of style, and I just got to get the last of it before anybody else can get it, because it's the best thing I've ever had, and I don't want to share it with anybody. I'm just saying, you want to load the crap out of that brush. Now, as to whether or not that will hold together when I get some water in it, I don't know. I usually soak the Williams puck. Let me dry my hands for quite a while when I first get it, simply because it really needs to be hydrated. It's a triple milled soap, and it doesn't have a lot of water in it. And what I mean by that is that there's not a lot of moisture left because it's been dried out, ground, dried out, ground, dried out, ground. It's triple milled. So all of the moisture it's been ground down, laid out dry, ground down, laid out dry, triple milled. And so we're going to put a little bit of water on our face. Always use a little bit of water. And I got 2 or 3 days growth, maybe not. I love fresh Williams. Gonna add a little bit of water. Williams is a fantastic soap, regardless of what people say about it. I use it all the time. You just gotta know how to do it. And like I say, this might fade a bit because I didn't do the usual routine that I do with Williams, but we will see. I'm going to use my feather commissary for this shave. Doggone Williams. See my fingers sliding? The Williams is so slick that I can't even. Can't barely even pull my skin. This blade needs replacement. It's alright. I don't use it, a bunch of times in a row, but I've used it a while on the blade. Needs to be replaced. It missed a lot of hair, so we're going to go the second pass against the grain will straighten all that out. So I was going to do another pass with the grain, but this will work. Yeah. And the angle's a little bit more with this. Lovely. And the thing with this, you can feel the slickness of this soap. Even though you see it is trying to fade, it's slick as snot. Things turning in my hand because my fingers are covered in soap. Excuse me, I need to wipe that off. Alright, that's better. Cut his lid off. Lovely. And I want to get that part of my chin. Lovely. Alright. But that is how you use a mug. Or how I use a mug. Like I said, there are variations on it. But that's a very old school way of shaving. Where is my... And I'm going to use... Aquavella Ice Blue. I don't know if this one says it, but... Yeah. Try Aquavella Aftershave. Aquavella for cool comfort after shaving. So they were often advertised together, and they go together well. I just put it in a glass bottle. And I have put a crap load of extra menthol in that aftershave. So that's mug lather, and when they were done, they would just rinse the mug out and set it up on the shelf and let it dry. Most of them would store the brush in the mug like that until next time. Although I've seen some pretty ugly brushes that are bent and misshapen and stuff from people I know that have done that over the years. Those old fellas, they didn't obsess over the stuff like we do. It was a shave to them. We like to do it a little more classy, what we consider to be classy. We like to do it, wow, my eyes are watering pretty bad from the menthol. Anyway, we like to do it and enjoy it and have fun and make it kind of a special time. And it's well worth it because the old fellas knew what they were doing. The junk that we get now to shave with is out of control, awful. A good blade, a good brush, some good soap, even something like Williams that can sometimes fade like that a little bit, and depending on your skill level, a whole lot. It leaves behind a slickness that I can still shave my face. And also, you know what? You can always reach back up here and put a little more lather on your face when it comes to it, you know, if it comes to it. So, but anyway, that's the shave. That's mug lathering. Kirk Green requested this, so Kirk, I hope that I did it justice. Bless you. Later.